What's up, tribe? Listen, we got a treat today. I ain't even give y'all a long intro because we have a treat, okay? We are going to be discussing this latest lawsuit that Bishop Lamore has filed. But you know, I got my legal brain on my left and my legal brain on my right. You know, the women got to come and take care of business, okay? So let me bring up, attorney Simone Redwine. Y'all know that's my boo thing right there. And
Thank you,
attorney
boo.
Pam
Thank you.
Esquire, the Law Intellect
Hey.
the hashtag the social media attorney, honey. And we are here to
Yes.
discuss some things. Now, look, we cut up over on Pam's channel last night. Myself, Pam, and Thais. She allowed us to come up and act the fool because we don't know what else to do with these lawsuits. And then last night, Bishop Whitehead, he did a live. He did a very serious, very what's the word I'm looking for with a very what's the word I'm looking for when you had a
Somber.
funeral?
It
Yes,
was
a very
somber.
somber live, and I had some of the clips from that. We can listen to that. But as both of my girls here, we ladies, women, excuse me, we have been trying to figure this whole thing out. And the more one thing is for sure is the more and more he talks, the worse and worse it just seems to get. And I think he forgets what he's saying. So I'm gonna start with Simone because Simone hit me up this morning and was like, girl, we need to talk about some stuff, okay? Yes, Janae says, who runs the world? Girl, yes, look at my panel. Look at my panel. So, Simone, before we get into the nitty of the gritty, what was your initial response when you heard that he was filing a defamation lawsuit against the confidential informant? Because I can't say confidential anymore, but
Right.
the government informant. What was your first response to that thought? I mean, to that to
My
that.
my thought was whatever attorney accepted that man's money needs to give it back. Shame on them. Because that is a complete and total, like, it is law school, like 101. Like, you shouldn't be able to graduate um, without understanding why you can't do that. So I was concerned about Brian, Mr. Ponder. I was really concerned. I don't know what he's going through. Maybe he's got cataracts. Maybe he needs a cataract surgery, and he just wasn't reading the words on the page. But that is, like, I overall, before we get into it, I just want to say I really hope that the opposing side, the Brandon Beltone, whatever his name is, uh, that the guy he's suing, Brandon, files an anti-slap lawsuit. Pam, I know you talk about that on your channel before. I am like the queen of this because I have been sued for defamation. So I've actually been sued for defamation and had to, like, write all these motions and do this. In my case, I won, of course, a lot, and I bankrupted the company, so they don't exist. But that anti-slap completely fits. But what I'm really thinking, he might even walk himself into another criminal charge, perhaps tampering with witnesses, perhaps, or intimidating a witness. Because in the live, he made statements about how, because the DA wouldn't drop the charges, because the DA continued to believe him, the Brandon guy, that is why he decided to file this defamation suit. So that's a long
Mm-mm.
Well,
All right. So let's.
Simone, he actually filed a deck action, like asking for a declaratory judgment back in January on Belmonte. Like as soon as the indictment went down, he
yes.
filed a deck action, and that's how we figured out who it was. Even though he tried to make it seem like we learned through the New Yorker, we didn't. We learned it because you literally talked about your whole defense in this deck action, and then we had the government responded and just kind of like he tried to act like he didn't know who the witnesses were because
Oh,
I
that's right. That was his motion to get the identity of the witnesses.
right.
I remember that.
And he was trying to do that only because I said, well, why isn't that a bond violation? Because first of all, you got to make contact with them to serve them, even though it's through your attorney. I said, secondly, you're not supposed to contact the victim either directly, indirectly, any of that on the bond conditions. It's right there. And so he turns around, and that's when Ponder files a motion for identification of the victim. Like, we don't know who the victim is. We don't want to make it, make a mistake and inadvertently point the victim out and have contact with them. And the government responded like, yeah, but you filed these lawsuits. Like, you think we don't know?
Right. Right. And then I also wanted to, as I was reading this, I was like, this is an immunity case. So with defamation, of course, you have the elements. Like the elements include it has to be a statement, not an opinion. It has to be publicized. Blah 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 blah. However, even if it's a bold face lie, even if the defendant himself gets up there and says, I lied, Your Honor, you cannot sue someone if the basis is another lawsuit, a criminal lawsuit. It's not limited to criminal. It's if it's listed, if it's related to another lawsuit. So he thought he was slick by filing this in this separate court. But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter where he files it. And that's why his attorney needs to really watch out, because he can get in trouble for that. The Brandon guy, he definitely needs to ask for sanctions and his attorney's fees, because that is how stupid this lawsuit is. And when I won my defamation case, that is exactly what we did. I asked for attorney's fees. I asked for all of that because it was a situation. When I got sued, they sued me and ABC News Network because ABC had me on talking about the case and they wanted to shut me up. I have a feeling that, Whitehead, the bishop, is trying to shut the other guy up so he doesn't continue talking. Obviously, you cannot do that. But he seems to have no sense of the fact that there is an absolute immunity. And for any statements that are made by witnesses, and this guy would be considered a witness. And he can point to the New Yorker article all he wants, but I think we all know what it really was from. And prior to that the New Yorker article was the indictment that's saying virtually the exact same things that this dude was saying in the New Yorker article.
Girl, listen. Let's go ahead and get it.
I was still trying to determine the defamatory statements. I'm sorry, really. I was looking like where are the statements at? That's what I was looking at in the complaint, but we'll get there.
Child, let's get into it. Let me pull it up. Because y'all know how we like to do over here. We like to show y'all the document. So let's pull it up on the screen, and I'm gonna go ahead and let
Pam do it. I love how Pam does it.
I did it yesterday. Go ahead, Simone. Go ahead.
Listen, what is enough with this mess? Can you see it, or do I need to?
Nope, I can see it. That's perfect. That is perfect. Now let me see.
Go down though, because it got his information on that first page. So take that off of there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Let me scroll down. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that better? Right. Start right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So go ahead.
Okay. Y'all want me to read it? I'll read it. That's fine. Okay. So this is the case of Lamar Whitehead versus Brandon Belmonte. Okay. The plaintiff, Lamar Whitehead, or Bishop Whitehead as he's known, is an individual and presiding pastor of Leaders of Tomorrow, the Stolen Church in Brooklyn, New York. Defendant Brandon Belmonte is...
Now he lives in New York. Sorry. Now he lives in New York.
I'm on Simone Talent.
Now he lives in New York. Is an individual. On January 2023, or within 1 year of filing of this verified complaint, Mr. Belmonte made oral and or in writing the following statements about plaintiff to Eric Latch of the New Yorker. A, Bishop Whitehead basically says, you've got to give me another $5,000. B, I got City Hall in my back pocket. C, Bishop Whitehead told Belmonte that Adams had once offered him a $50 million construction contract. D, Eric's doing big things. C, I gotta get mine. I mean E, sorry. I just said C twice, Lord. F. Bishop Whitehead mentioned a property that Belmonte was developing in the Bronx. G. Bishop Whitehead said that Eric Adams can make it a homeless shelter and you'll get city benefits. H. Bishop Whitehead offered to broker a meeting with Adams. I. Bishop Whitehead kept telling me we're gonna make millions together. J. And Bishop Whitehead said, you got to give me the $5,000 or I'm going to beat you up.
Who says that? Who says beat you up? We already know he lying. So they both liars. So.
Oh yeah, listen, Belmonte is not. That's why the New York was like, we're not even gonna call him as a witness. Like they know that they know he's problematic too.
They said we're gonna take these recordings and establish the foundation and keep it
right.
moving.
Hey, Belmonte told Bishop Whitehead during a recorded call with the FBI agents present that he was ready to do business with him and the mayor. Kay gets me every time because, sir, they're telling you it's a recorded call. Anyway. L, everybody is trying to connect me with the mayor with some fiduciary experience. Anyway.
But you know the crazy part about that last one, that L, if you pull up the New Yorker, I don't even believe that's what Belmonte said. That was something that allegedly, I guess, Whitehead told the reporter. So I'm like, do you even know who said what in this article? But go ahead.
Because Brandon can only use small words.
Mm-hmm.
Fonte.
Right.
Okay. He only knows how to use small words, like beat you up.
Beat you up, right.
Beat you up, right.
Now he's going to assault me.
Right. So Mr. Belmonte's above stated statements in paragraph 3 concerning Bishop Whitehead that were spoken and or written to Eric Latch of the New Yorker within 1 year to date are false. Mr. Belmonte's statements in paragraph 3 concerning the bishop are, I'm just going to skip through all that because he say the same thing. To the plaintiff are public contempt, ridicule, aversion, and or disgrace. Mr. Belmonte's statements imply criminal activity and injured the plaintiff's reputation as a pastor and as a professional real estate investor. 7, Mr. Belmonte's false statements were published in print and online and they give the website for the New Yorker. And number 8, Mr. Belmonte made false statements that are grossly in a grossly irresponsible manner without regard for the truth. Number 9, as a result of Mr. Belmonte's conduct, Bishop Whitehead has lost and continues to lose business deals, church members' income, and was subjected to a federal criminal indictment based upon Mr. Belmonte's false statements. Number 10, Mr. Belmonte is liable to the plaintiff for first cause of action liable, second cause of action slander, third cause of action libel per se, and fourth cause of action slander per se. Wherefore, plaintiff demands judgment against the defendant for each cause of action for actual damages of $50 million or such amount according to proof at trial, punitive damages of no less than $150 million or such amount according to proof at trial, and such other and further relief that this court deems just and proper under these premises. Plaintiff demands a trial by jury on all issues so triable. And that was filed on March the 21st, 2023. Where do you want to start?
Pam, you want to start?
Start with the now comes. Like, why did you even file this? Let's start at the first.
Yes. Brian, what's wrong with you? Brian is a lawyer, y'all, if you don't know.
I don't understand this because this, you guys know this isn't the first defamation lawsuit. So from what I've gathered, this is kind of, if you even look at the New Yorker, since he keeps sending everybody to it, according to other individuals, allegedly, he's used the court system in this fashion, like being very litigious because, you know, a lot of people don't want to go to court. Like
Yeah.
they're not trying to go to court. That's a way to almost intimidate people from what from what that article said. That's what I got from it from a few
Literally.
people that I've talked to. So I'm just saying that that's just what this appears to be to me. And the fact that you're currently indicted.
Right.
And this is your response. And I'm gonna presume it's because the government said that they're not calling him as a witness. So maybe
Oh,
because
right.
they
Okay.
said that, maybe he feels like, but he's still considered a victim in the indictment. So you still can't,
You
child.
can't,
Someone take
yeah,
over. I just
you can't. Okay, so under the anti-SLAPP defense, if it's a matter of public concern, which certainly extortion and kickbacks are, if it's a matter of public concern, you're allowed to say what you want, basically. Of course, you can't lie about it, but and it shifts the burden. So now, once they put their answer in, Moorhead, Whitehead has the obligation to now prove with clear and convincing evidence. Clear and convincing evidence, not just preponderance of the doubt as he would have had in a traditional civil case, meaning 51%, of the people on the jury have to see in the way that you're articulating. But here, I see no freaking way where he can meet the burden of showing clear and convincing evidence that all of these things are not true.
it's he said, she said, Simona, you got to show under the anti-SLAPP. You have to show, so they're going to respond with a motion to dismiss, I'm sure. And you have to, the burden, like you said, shifts that he got to show there's a substantial basis for what he's saying. So what is he going to say? His response is going to be like, it's not true. It can't be proven true or false because it's he said, she said.
And it has to be a matter of public concern because it formed the basis of oh boy getting indicted. So
it's in the New Yorker. You've already satisfied that by saying that it was published to over a million people.
But what he fails to include, I think he also fails on the defamation claim because it had already been published. They went public with his indictment. I read it same day it came out. That was in December. And that indictment basically, as far as Belfonte, what is it? Is it Belfonte?
Belmonte.
Mm-hmm. Monte. As far as he goes, he's basically saying in the article and so forth the exact same thing that was already said in the indictment. So he loses again, and then you cover it all up in a nice bow in a handkerchief, and there's immunity for any statements that you make to police, government officials, all that kind of stuff, because there are different laws for that, right? There's perjury if you were on the stand. There is hindering apprehension, blah, 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 blah. He could potentially try to go for those things. Nobody is gonna, no prosecutor would do that. But my point is there's an absolute immunity and you can't be sued for what you've told in this instance. And he can, even though he just keeps pointing to the magazine, not pointing to the fact that the DA already told, the U.S. attorney had already told us.
I want to shout out Coco. Thank you for the super chat. My thank you so much. Mwah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Campbell, for jumping in. He said hit that like button. That's what Mr. Campbell has said. He said hit that like button.
He over here, he's trying to come over here and be the boss of your chat, like he's the boss of my chat.
Listen, somebody asked a question. They asked a question about the anti-SLAPP. They said, all I want to know is if the defendant is going to file an anti-SLAPP or are they going to file a demurrer or something else. If it was me, and I'm licensed in New York as well, if it was me, you do anti-SLAPP all the way because anti-SLAPP mandates that you get your attorney's fees.
It says shall.
Versus all the other stuff, you really don't get it. Oh, and one more thing. Can you put that petition back? I'm thinking about this. Put that petition back up real quick.
Okay. Is this it right here?
Last page.
And then I pulled up the article, so we're gonna read exactly what the article says. Oh no, that's something different. Sorry. Hold on. Let me remove that. That's not it. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me add the tick up. My bad. Share screen. You know, my internet is over here tripping, so we doing the best we can. Here it is right here. Okay.
Okay, just the last page with the signature line is all I need to look at real quick.
Can you
As
see
we
it?
were talking, good. As we were talking about how stupid this case is, I just had to double check. Okay, he does have a real email address. Because usually when I see things this stupid, you can take it down. Usually when it's this stupid, it's like some AOL lawyer. And I always say, if your lawyer got AOL, you probably go to jail. Huh?
I'm not doing
You're
this.
dialing it up. If your lawyer got AOL, you probably going to jail. Or Hotmail. Or Hotmail. If your
Oh,
lawyer,
I had a Hotmail a month ago, and I was like, who
you
uses
can have it, but you have others as well. I am sure of it. You got others as well. It's not your lone soldier. You don't put it on your petition and your pleadings. I saw Hotmail on somebody's signature line.
Yeah.
Like, chick, Google
Yeah,
is
I
free.
had one where somebody did that. Like, I was like, "You still use Hotmail?" Like, I had to ask the attorney. Like, I didn't even know that these people still use Hotmail, but I guess.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you, Jay Walsh. I want to thank my super chat. Thank you so much, Jay Walsh. He says, I'm going to say this again. The bishop loves jail. His boo must be fine as hell. He doing so much.
You know what?
Yeah, y'all know how he listen. He'll be up here saying a whole bunch of you know what about that. But let's go to the actual New Yorker article. I pulled it up. So let's go to the New Yorker article and let's read what, because they're quoting the article. Let's read what the article actually. Now we know the article said a lot. He don't want us to pay attention to the rest of it. We're only gonna read the paragraphs that deal with Belmonte, child. Let's
Well,
go.
we can talk about the other attorney that he mentions in there that's currently disbarred, that used to represent him.
Oh yeah,
That's in there too.
Okay.
left the country
Okay.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's do it. So let's start at the beginning. So this article, I am subscribed. Already a subscriber. Hold on, because I am subscribed because I went on and just paid that little $1. Hold on, let me take it off the screen so I can put my login in.
Did they make me pay for it?
I use Chrome, and there's an extension that I just added today where it allows you to read all those articles, any article that's behind the paid wall. It's called Postlight Reader. Postlight Reader.
Oh, you better
well,
get
okay, you
this
gotta
stuff.
hook me up. You gotta hook me up.
Yeah.
Like,
DM
I mean, it was only $1, and because it was only $1, and I went on and did it. Oh Lord, but I don't remember my damn password now, child.
Somebody said,
I'm sorry,
they
y'all.
said, "Oh, is he even?" They said, "Oh, is he even a real pastor?" Well, I love how they very concisely. I don't know. I'm gonna jump to this part. The part about how he became the pastor. That was one of my favorite parts in the article, because they stated he became a pastor when he was waiting to get sentenced for his criminal case. He had already he was coming to court wearing clergy wear and the things that deacon or pastor or whatever would have on. So I believe that he is a self-appointed Google pastor, like a Google pastor. They got certificates for that. So yeah, so this pastor.
You right. You know what? That is funny.
Yeah, Google pastor. I want to see
Go
his
ahead. I'm
certificate.
sorry. I have a delay.
That's okay.
Okay.
I want to see. Go ahead.
Oh, now I want to see his certificate. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me close this out. Let me take this down. Okay. So let me read this to you guys. I'm gonna read you guys because he keeps telling people to just read the first 3 paragraphs. So let's read the first 3 paragraphs and let's see what it says. So the article. This is from the New Yorker. This is the first. This is how it looks. Now, remember last night the bishop tried to read it and he ain't have an account, child. He ain't had $1. So let's read it. About a year ago.
That's probably wise because they're trying to steal his assets.
Child, damn it! I logged in. Look, I can still scroll. We only reading the first 3 paragraphs because I can scroll.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. About a year ago, not long after Eric Adams was sworn in as mayor of New York, an old friend and church leader named Lamore Whitehead went to an auto shop in the Bronx to drop off a Mercedes Benz G Class SUV that had been in a crash. Whitehead led a small church in Brooklyn called Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries. People called him Bishop. Notice they said people call him Bishop, not he is a bishop. But anyway, the shop he visited was called No Limit Auto Body and was operated by a man by the name of Brandon Belmonte, who was involved in real estate. Federal prosecutors would later refer to Belmonte as a businessman. They put that in quotes. The Mercedes was a $25,000 job. Belmonte paid the $13,000 bill for a rental replacement while the work was getting done. Whitehead wanted more. He basically says, "You got to give me another $5,000." Now that's one of the quotes that's in the article. Belmonte recalled, "I said, bro, the job was only 25,000. 13 and 5 is 18. The parts were $7,000. I'm going to make zero." It occurred to Belmonte that Whitehead wasn't trying to negotiate. He was asking for a kickback. He promised to make it worth Belmonte's while. "I got City Hall in my back pocket." That's another quote from the article. From the lawsuit. Whitehead said, according to Belmonte. Whitehead explained that he was close with Adams, going back to when Adams was Brooklyn Borough president. He told Belmonte that Adams had once offered him a $50 million construction contract. "Eric's doing big things," Whitehead continued. "I got to get mine." He mentioned a property that Belmonte was developing in the Bronx. He said, "Eric Adams can make it a homeless shelter and you'll get city benefits." Belmonte recalled, Whitehead offered to broker a meeting with Adams. "He kept telling me we're going to make millions together," Belmonte said. And he said, "You got to give me the $5,000 or I'm going to beat you up." Again, yeah. And that on a friend's advice, Belmonte called an investigator at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan. Now, Lamore Whitehead is trying to say that friend is Larry Reed. He's trying to bring Larry Reed into this, and he's trying to insinuate that Larry Reed is this friend. I think that the mayor of New York
turn in. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he said, I think the mayor of New York is on the take." Belmonte recalled, and he said, "What do you mean?" The investigator patched in colleagues, and Belmonte told them his story. I said, "The mayor of New York City is trying to extort me through someone else." He said the next morning, FBI agents arrived at Belmonte's door. They asked Belmonte to call Whitehead and began recording. Belmonte told Whitehead that he was ready to do business with him and with the mayor. So that's the end of the Belmonte part of this article. So let me say this.
It's like, wait a minute. It's like one other line about the fiduciary duty thing, but it's like further down in the article. It's like towards the end.
Okay, let me scroll down past him lying about who his daddy is, past him stealing the money from the church. Let me scroll past all of that. Okay, hold on again. Let's see how long this article is, y'all.
Yeah, it was a very thorough life story. I'll tell you that.
The stuff about the government corruption. The Brooklyn DA's office ultimately pursued 2 investigations into Whitehead during Adams' first term as borough president. Once based on information supplied, the others stem from. Okay, I'm just trying to find fiduciary, y'all.
And you see that, Simone? That's very interesting. I think we should discuss that too.
Yes. I like that on myself.
Child, this article is long. Okay, hold on.
Here was a lot going on. Right here, there goes Belmonte.
Okay. After his latest arrest, one of Whitehead's lawyers issued a statement indicating that the bishop denied all the new charges against him. Whitehead was soon back to live streaming, and he hinted that he had damaging information to reveal about Belmonte.
Remember, I told you in the clip, and he was making it seem like this article is the one that exposed Belmonte, but you immediately, when you got indicted, you did this live, and you basically said people have been calling you saying that they are victims, and they can't wait. They like that other person that's in the law. Like everybody knew who it was, allegedly, immediately, according to you, and they were calling you, telling you that they were victims.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, so they mentioned that in the New Yorker, where they're saying like, he mentioned who Belmonte was already. So this whole, he basically said the reason why he's able to talk about Belmonte is because Belmonte outed himself in this article. But you already talked about it before this article. So if that's your only reason in your mind, or that someone said that it was okay, then clearly it must not be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me
It
read
ain't
this
okay.
one. Let me read this one. Hold on. Let me read. Okay. By that point, the FBI was already investigating Whitehead. This was after he cussed out his almost half sister. He called her a dumb bitch. Okay. Early one morning last spring, Brandon Belmonte of No Limit Auto Body met federal agents at a Kohl's parking lot in Paramus. They handed him a short stack of $100 bills totaling $5,000 to give to Whitehead. Belmonte stuffed the bills in his left pants pocket. He then drove to Whitehead's house. He just kept talking, Belmonte said. He got more and more excited when he saw the money. He was like, I have the keys to the city. Soon afterward, Whitehead asked Belmonte for a larger sum, $500,000, to renovate some apartment buildings in Hartford, Connecticut. When Belmonte didn't send him the money, Whitehead was livid. He said, you just lost City Hall. And he started going crazy. In the weeks that followed, Whitehead would call him 30 to 40 times a day, shouting and cursing at Belmonte whenever he picked up. And then it starts going into, I'm sorry, I can't find the fiduciary, y'all.
Okay, I'm gonna look.
I
I'll
found
look
it.
on mine. You found it?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay.
It says Brandon Belmonte was not the first person to go to law enforcement with the suspicion that Whitehead and Adams were engaged in corruption. Both men deny that their relationship goes beyond that of mentor-mentee. This is a quote. Everybody is trying to connect me and the mayor with some fiduciary experience, Whitehead states. Whitehead told me a few weeks ago, quote, we don't talk about real estate. We don't talk about stocks. We don't talk about none of that. We talk about life. Some people who have worked with Adams suggested that his relationship with Whitehead is representative of a character flaw. The mayor is unwilling to distance himself from people he's let into his life, even when it would be politically wise to do so.
So, Sister Counsel, that says that Whitehead said. So, how is that in the complaint as a statement from Belmonte?
You are
That's all I'm saying.
so right.
That's all I'm saying.
But I have a question going back to that first part. I have two things. Now that I've reread the article, because I read it obviously when it first happened, we did a live about it. But now that I'm rereading it with a different, perspective, the first thing that pops out is in that first part of the article where it says that um, Belmonte called Whitehead after he called the FBI and they wired him or whatever. Here's the thing, Whitehead, if he's lying, and this is just me, but if he's lying on you, I call Simone up and I say, girl, remember you said that you had a scheme that we could run, that you could get me a that your fiance gonna hook me up with a new Benz, and I ain't got put in that. Remember you said something that he could do about my credit. If you didn't tell me about no scheme and you aren't scheme, and sorry to bring your fiance, and I just know he deals in
No, that's fine. You good.
I just know he deals in luxury cars. But if there was no scheme, if there was no conversation, you're gonna be like, girl, what the hell are you talking about? And you're
Right.
gonna hang up on me. So the fact that there was even a conversation when you called, and then when you scroll down to the bottom and it says that he showed up at his house with money and he got excited. Again, you show up at my house and you say, here go that money that you was trying to, shake me down for. If there's no situation, I'm gonna be like, what this money for? What you talking about? Right. Why are you showing up at my house? Why are you at my house?
And what the hell kind of negotiation is that? He went from wanting $5,000 to $500,000. See, this is not his gift. This is not his ministry. He needs real estate and scamming alone. Find something else to do. Oh, and I just found a website where you can get your bishop license online. It says it's real quick too, real quick. I think it's like defensive driving, like a defensive driving type of class. You just sit there, answer some questions. Hopefully, you pass the test at the end, and they give you that certificate. And people are supposed to leave you alone. Get some better
Thank you,
insurance.
Uncle Vaughn. Abby said that Abby said the shakedown went up 1,000%.
Right.
It went from 5,000 to 500,000, sir. Like I said, listen, we know that Belmonte he's no angel. And I think we
Right.
can all agree that he is no angel.
Right.
But the fact that you want us to, let's get back to this crazy ass lawsuit. The fact that you feel like that justifies you suing this man for $200 million, that's crazy to me.
I think he's trying to intimidate the guy into not talking anymore.
Isn't that against the law?
Yeah, tampering with a damn witness.
I'm just saying. I thought that was a crime. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay,
Thank you, Butchie Wife. Thank you. Wait a minute. Let me thank you. Thank you, Butchie Wife, for the cash app. Mwah, I appreciate you.
Simone, you practice in New York. What safeguards are there for people that continuously file these? Because this is the 4th defamation lawsuit that has been filed.
So New York and California, in my understanding, New York basically paved the way and carved out anti-SLAPP, the anti-SLAPP law to help situations just like this. So there isn't much. They basically have to slap that motion down on the table and get the hearing, because if done right, the motion, the motion have all. They don't even need attachments because the burden is on him to prove. But filing that motion and saying we now shift the burden, Your Honor.
But do you think if the first one, like I know the first person he sued, the DJ over there, filed a anti-SLAPP motion as well. So if he loses on that one, do you think that would have an effect on the other ones that he filed after that?
Yeah. Now you can also, if you lose on anti-SLAPP, you can file a summary judgment motion. You can still do those. You could do other ways to dismiss as long as you're within your time frame. But I think that if he wins the anti-SLAPP motion, it's going to be a problem. He's going to do this all the time because apparently Brian Ponder doesn't charge too much, or he works on a handshake and a smile, because there is no way that he, like you said on yours yesterday, how does he have time to file all this stupid ish? What? And
it's
why?
crazy.
It's no way.
You're right, Maceo, right. I mean, we talked about that before. Why is he even taking his car? You have a $200,000 vehicle. Why is it not at the dealer, sir? Why is it not at the dealer? I don't know how much G-Wagons cost, but I know they're a lot of daggone money.
Oh, he had a recent car crash?
Yeah, that's how his whole thing started.
That's how all this started with Belmonte, is that his...
Oh, yes. Oh, that one. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this? I was going to say the N-word deal.
Is that the same car that he got in the accident with? Remember, there was the lawsuit that was filed where somebody sued him and his wife because the car was in his name, but it was somebody else driving. Are you familiar?
It might be, because he keeps saying it was his car, and maybe that's why he didn't take it to an authorized dealer if the accident was his fault and he had to come out of pocket.
It was like somebody else was driving the car, but the car was in him and his wife's name, and it was a slew of people, and it was actually an auto accident, like injury accident, and somebody sued him for that accident. I wonder, and it was a Mercedes. I was wondering if it's the same car.
It might be. It might be the same car, because that might be why he was trying to, take it somewhere and not have to go to the dealer.
Instead of going to the dealer, yeah.
Because if it was $25,000 at the Nomad Body Shop, I can only imagine what the dealer would have charged him. I mean, and he said that the parts were $7,000, sir. A muffler on a Mercedes is $7,000. What kind of parts were you getting? I don't know. Anyway, okay, all right.
Parts ain't no joke on those cars, because I know my BMW wasn't no joke. We were like, how much for a headlight? Let me go get me an American car.
But I told y'all the other day, I drive a Camry and it ain't no joke. Okay. Oh.
But that man, Brandon Belmonte, the Belmontes, apparently his dad is a pistol too. They like to go
Mhm.
to jail together, apparently, and do scams together. But it absolutely sounds like he was already being interviewed by the feds for something and said, "Hey, I got something for you. I think I have something on the mayor." And it went from there. That doesn't mean he's lying. Um, but if the only proof is him versus Whitehead, even though I don't believe anything Whitehead says, I think that's pretty weak.
But I think they have more, because if they're not even going to call him as a witness, and I mean, what do y'all think? If they're not even going to call him as a witness, they got to have something else, right?
They do, because it went before a grand jury. So if it went, we
Yeah,
don't
that's
even
true.
know if Belmonte was the one that even testified at the grand jury. They have probable cause for that charge, but he got other
That is
charges
true.
too. If we take Belmonte out, he's still on the hook for the alleged falsified bank statements and the Miss Anderson situation. You still on the hook. That's why I'm like, how are you? So let's just cut that part of the indictment out. You still ain't free. So I'm not understanding why you
Right,
going to these
right.
lengths.
He needs to sell one of those cars
Listen.
so he can get a real lawyer.
You can't sell a car that you leasing.
Oh, you right about that.
Allegedly.
Duh, I forget. I forget.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right, let me take
Poor
a pause for the calls, and then I want to let y'all listen to something from last night, because I have a question for the attorneys. First of all, thank you, Tracy, for dropping the links. Y'all make sure that it's 235 people in this chat. Y'all make sure that y'all are subscribed to Pam, the Law Intellect, and Girl Is That Legal. Both links are in the chat. And please, if you have not already done so, please hit that like button, y'all. We having a good time over here, and y'all getting some good information along the way. Okay. Now, last night the bishop went live, right? And like I said in the beginning of it, and I'm not gonna play all of it, because honestly, 95% of it is stuff we have already heard. But what I do want us to listen to is, because the more he talks, the more his story changes. At the beginning of all of this, he didn't know who Belmonte was. He just took his car to get his car fixed. And then it was, well, he overheard me talking about real estate, and then that got me. Then it was, well, a friend of mine said, if you ever want to rent a luxury, do you want to rent out any of your luxury vehicles? I know a guy that will, that rents out luxury cars, and you can do. And he was like, nah, I didn't want to do that. And his man was like, okay, well, he got a body shop, so if you ever need any work done, hit him up. And he was like, so that I knew about him. The story keeps evolving, and the story keeps changing. So I want y'all to listen now to something else he's added to the story on his live last night, y'all. So again, this is from his live last night. So let's listen, honey child. Let's listen.
Lies that he placed in the New Yorker. Somebody said, why you, Bishop? Because of my influence and because of my relationship with the mayor of New York. You guys have to understand, if this man didn't be the mayor of New York, we wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't even be here. That's the story. That's the big story. When you sit there and you go to the FBI and say that the mayor of New York allegedly did something illegal to you, or promised you something illegal, that's the story, y'all. No, worried. I'm just telling you. Somebody said you look very worried. No, I don't look worried. I don't look worried. But today, driving while black is just not right, y'all. It's just not right in America. We get crucified, and our own people crucify each other. We laugh.
Oh, he is definitely playing the race card
with these laughing emojis on Facebook. We're very brutal. We're very brutal to one another, and it's all right, because however it turns out, God still has me no matter what.
He tried that in the other case too, when they gave him 10 to 20.
I just really want y'all to understand that I'm bringing awareness. People saying you're hurting your case. No, my case.
Yes,
I'm talking about what's already out there. That's what I'm talking about. And this Brandon Belmonte is a liar. He's a con artist. He's a scammer, and he has hurt a lot of people. People have contacted me and said that he rents luxury cars and he put recordings inside of the cars to get people's information.
Mm.
And I want y'all really to understand this. You know, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not taking anything from anybody. I'm just a black preacher, black young man that grew up without my father because he was killed by the police because of the color of his skin. Grew up in the same. You know, I have
We
to go through
remembered
this
it from
again.
yesterday.
And every time you guys talk about me and not know, right? You talk about my entire family.
Mm.
Right? I have children that look at your comments and it's just like, you know, I haven't done anything to you guys, right? I'm just who I am. I did a interview, this guy, Mark Lamont Hill from the Griot.
Yeah.
In my inbox, I speak to him, yo, brother, I just want to, you know, we black men, I just want to do this. And then what he does, he ambushes me on the Griot.
He did not.
Sir, a journalist asking legit questions is not an ambush.
He just didn't let him just talk. He didn't just let him talk. He actually stopped him like, oh, but wait a minute. That's it.
Did you give him the 90? Yeah. Did you take $90,000? Did you get $90,000? Yes or no?
Right. Child.
And their back office blacked out the camera, so I couldn't see him. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm looking around. He's hitting me with these questions that he knew that I could not answer because my team already told him certain legal questions I can't answer. And then he has...
Did you just say
maybe
that?
you should be doing interviews.
Bingo.
At the end, what I didn't answer, it was a complete ambush. I never knew. Everybody's telling me he's a snake. I never knew that. Before he called me, I just put my 10-month-old baby to sleep, and he ambushed me. He ambushed me.
Mark Lamont Hill
and
is
when
not
y'all
a
see
snake.
this interview, you're going to see I held my own, but he was ambushing me, asking me questions that was outside of the parameters of what him and his producers said they were going to ask me. He just went in. And then D.L. Hughley reposted and started talking about me. It's just like our own people, and they don't even know the facts. And yet they're the first ones that talk about black power, but want to destroy me. My family's cool. Thank you guys for asking about my wife and my family. They're good, and they're pressing through. You know, I want to thank each and every one of you guys. I'm going to keep pushing this. I'm going to keep doing what God says. I just try to understand that I'm alive right now. I'm always going to be alive. And I'm not going to be the one that don't tell my story. I'm the one that's going to tell you guys that, yo, I was set up, man.
There you go.
And
it's because you're black.
He was set up.
It's just bad.
You can hear he's really trying.
And what you guys are going to see was, you know, he used me being a pastor. His father was dying, and I was praying for his father.
Okay. I'm sorry I didn't edit it, child. We had to go through the other mess. But he's talking about Belmonte again. So now he's saying, oh, he took advantage of me being a pastor, and I prayed for his father who was dying. Now, Belmonte's father did just recently pass away. But again, I'm saying, so you keep adding to the story. You went from, I don't know this man, to he overheard me talking about real estate, and that's how we started a conversation, to, well, I did hear about him through an acquaintance, and I knew that he used to rent out luxury vehicles. Now, hey, I prayed for him. Sir, you had a whole lot of conversation with somebody you never had any conversation with.
That's what he said on V105.
Go ahead.
That's what he said on V105. He basically said that I didn't even know the guy. I mean, he just overheard me in the shop. Like, what?
They don't even know. They don't even know how to interview him. There's just so many lies. Where do you even start?
Oh, I know where to interview him if you will come on my platform. Oh, me. Let us know.
Please, sir. I really hope he does, but if not, I think when he's behind bars, if he gets there, he'll get bored and he'll definitely call you a lot. That's what I get.
He's gonna J pay me.
My fiance is like, why are you getting calls from the jail? In New York State, they're out of state, but apparently the show we were on, Ready to Love, is the #1 show in jails across America for its time.
Wow.
What? Are you serious?
That's interesting.
According to the convict that won't stop calling me.
Oh.
It was.
You guys help their lonely night.
I mean, all I know is I've met a lot of pastors in my life. I've met bishops. I've met priests. I mean, and I've never had one just randomly walk up to me and say, "Ooh, let me pray for your daddy." Like, there had to have been a conversation. There had to have been something to lay the foundation. And look, Mr. Sir, excuse me, Bishop, hold on. Let me talk to him for a minute. Bishop, come here. Bishop, come here. Come down front. Sir.
We need you to approach the bench.
Yes, please. The one word, sir, that I think you keep jumping over, but it sticks in my craw. The one word that sticks with me, right, is the word that says recordings. So they got you on tape. Just shut up. Just shut up.
This man is about to walk into a jail cell.
Lord have mercy. Ladies, it's been almost an hour. Go ahead, Simone.
I just want to say one last thing about that live. I said, I think this might be the first man in America to talk his way into a jail cell. Because of the way on the live, he was first accusing Belmonte of a bunch of different crimes. Okay. And then secondly, he was really implying more than once. He said that he's a liar. And I begged the prosecutor to relook at the evidence. But because she wouldn't, he basically said because she wouldn't, that's why he had to file this lawsuit. Well, you can't do that. You don't get to sue somebody just because, they are probably going to help you get locked up. Stupid. So I think between that, he also might get, a cross action for a defamation. He might get an action for defamation if what he was saying about that man isn't true. Because it was a lot of different schemes that he talked about. And how you know about all those schemes if you weren't participating?
Mm-hmm. And all I know is I think it's very interesting that he wants everybody to believe everybody that comes forward about Belmonte, but he doesn't want anybody to believe anything that people say about him. Everything is all a lie. It's all a lie when it comes to him.
Right.
And just to let him know, there are things called motions that you file in, when you have these criminal cases. And if you feel that something, they don't have enough evidence, they don't have probable cause, they didn't have an adequate probable cause for the warrant, they have suppressions, they have all these different hearings that you can have in the criminal portion. That's usually where you handle it. That's why the government responded like, yeah, we don't know how we're going to respond to this civil action that was filed because we've never dealt with that before. That should have been your clue. That's not how this thing works. It's not how it works. I'm trying to help you out. Even though I'm, exposing you, I'm also helping you out.
Yes,
That's
if he would listen, y'all are really giving him some advice. But I just feel like he is moonwalking his way. Like Simone said, you are talking your way into some charges, sir. Into them.
I want to ask you guys.
Somebody in the chat said that he lied now.
That he did.
Oh, you know what, Pamela? I do have that clip too. Hold on. Y'all want to listen to that before we get off of here? It's not as long. It's a little clip. Okay, this is from his live last night.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that Jay Wash asked if Pam or Simone are either of you licensed in New York. Simone is licensed in New York. I am not. I'm in Michigan. He might want to switch counsel. It's a no for me. It would be a no. I wouldn't even pro hockey in this case. It's a hell no for me. That's what that is. You couldn't even pay me enough.
I actually would love to represent Belmonte in a defamation suit.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. Belmonte.
Maybe we can make that happen. I'll co-counsel on that one.
Right.
But I'll co-counsel on that slap action.
But ladies, I wanted to ask y'all overall though, for the one that is potentially ensnaring the mayor, that seemed like such flimsy evidence. Although we haven't seen what's on the wire, I don't know. Do you think that's going to stick?
Which portion are you talking about? That's in the
the claim with Belmonte.
The claim about the mayor trying to shake him down or whatever.
Right, extortion.
My issue with that is there seems like there is if you look at that article, the New Yorker, it appears that some years before this, it's been when the mayor was Brooklyn Borough president, he threw his name around and it seemed that he was almost insulated because you see there was an investigation before. And it just dropped. In one of those investigations, I was looking into it and I'm like, how did he get away with this? I didn't understand why they wouldn't have brought charges, but it seems like he was insulated somehow with the NYPD or with whatever. Wow. So I think now because they want Adams because he's the mayor, they're going to look more into, even though they probably should have been looking into Whitehead a long time ago. Right. I think they're looking into it more because of course, now you've opened up the door to try to subpoena probably some information on the mayor too. Woo! You're getting a 2-for-1 in this piece. Listen.
Two and 1. So
they like, thank you, Whitehead. Thank you.
Right.
Spoof app. Another number come up.
So now he's talking about that Belmonte playing on his phone. Does he have your number, sir?
Hold on. I'm going to keep on, and this is an attack on my church.
All 5 of them people that go to your church.
This is an attack on my family. And I really want y'all to just see what's going on. And, you know, I know a lot of people out in this world, a lot of influences, and, you know, look like I got to do this one by myself and push.
Oh.
And use my platform to make all you guys aware. And, the ones that fasting and praying, thank you so much.
Nobody is fasting.
And the ones that know how to pull on Jesus, thank you for praying for me. Because that's what it is. And that's what it's going to be.
Nobody is fasting for you, sir.
And I want y'all to understand this. I'm in great spirits. I'm just very serious at this time. I'm in great spirits. I thank God for courage. Joshua 1:9. Okay. Directs me to say, he says, command thee to be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, be not dismayed, for I am the Lord thy God that's with you forevermore. And the ones that are praying for me, y'all, I just want y'all to put some hearts up because there's a lot of people
We don't care about your heart.
placing me in their newspaper every other week. They don't want to pick up this story for whatever reasons, for whatever chilling reasons, or whoever told them not to put it up there. I just want y'all to know I have a big enough platform that's going to continue. I'm going to continue to push.
All of his subscribers.
And I'm going to continue to set up.
There's 1 million subscribers that he got 50 people in the chat.
And
it really did.
It's very, very unfair for us Black that we have to go through.
There you go.
Life this way.
Jonathan said, I know the Bible is tired of him.
If we're going to be free, indicted the next day, or dead the next day. It's just like that. We don't know if we're going to be free, indicted.
No, you don't know if you're going to be free. Speak for yourself,
it's a very serious issue of racism. And Brandon Belmonte has not been arrested. And he has a plethora of complaints against him with untold money by him. And
how do you know?
However, I'm the one
people be calling him
that has gotten indicted.
They be calling him
because he lied to me.
Girl.
And I'm you know, if whomever the powers that be get upset with me for using this platform to save my life,
powers that be, you mean the judge?
They will. Don't worry, sir.
Exactly.
But I'm not to infringe upon or step on nobody's toes. I just want my freedom. I want my life, and I have
get somebody else
children to raise. That's what I have. I have children to raise.
Oh, and now we're talking about the children. Okay.
Not public enemy number one.
Right.
He said that the first time he got in trouble. He told the judge the same thing.
Lawsuit.
He had a 2-week-old son.
On my story.
He has a 2-week-old son.
On page.
How come his kids never age?
This was the first time he got in the transcript from the first trial.
Yeah, his kids age.
Defamation that he placed on the New Yorker. This man is still doing business. He's still harassing people. I actually have I have a message, a screenshot of him telling someone how he has 5 FBI agents and some USA prosecutor in his back pocket.
Well, we got screenshots from Miss Pauline saying that you stole her money. So
we have a lot of information.
And they're called AUSA, sir. AUSA. Not USA.
He chose me to throw me under the bus so they can.
He chose him to throw him under
me
the bus.
Try to destroy my life.
They chose him.
And
all the people that are around him.
I ain't nobody.
Him.
Right? I've been trying to help the people, and I've been helping so many people.
Here you go. We're gonna talk about the turkeys now.
Just so many people in the community. I've been helping people. And like I said, I have a family. My mom, my grandma, my sister. I have a family. I have an entire family. You know, I have my immediate family, and you know, I just want my freedom. I want people to leave me alone.
If you would stop talking, people would leave you alone.
Especially with these trying to set me up. You know, last year has been a very rough year for me and my family, and the robbery was major. And it's terrible to how the media no jury.
Oh no,
convicted
there's gonna be a judge
of anything, but yet the media has persuaded you to look at me as if
I'm a victim. Here you go.
I'm a villain, and look at me as
I'm a
if
villain.
I pray to hurt people, and I don't.
I'm just trying to get to one part, y'all. Like I said, I didn't edit
in
it.
closing, because I can't go further into the case. My attorneys have to do what they have to do. And I just want y'all to understand that there's so many people involved.
Here it is, right here, y'all. Listen to this.
And you guys asked about that guy, Larry Reed. We will be also showing how Larry Reed and Brandon was having multiple conversations. They were having multiple conversations, and he was a part of the pushing of this setup because I exposed Larry Reed of him being a pedophile. So there's a lot of moving pieces here, y'all, and I ain't afraid. I ain't afraid.
Thank you, Jessica. Jessica said his assault on the English language is enough for a guilty. You lied. Oh my God. He reminds me of the Damon Wayans character from Living Color. Remember that? Do y'all remember Living Color? Damon Wayans character. He was in jail and he would use all the flatulence.
Yep.
The Greek philosophy. Like that's what he sounds like. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you so much. But again, Larry, he's trying to connect Larry. He's trying to make it seem like that. First of all, he wants to negate the fact that the article says that they were already investigating him before his church was out. But he's trying to make it seem like Larry Reed contacted the feds or got him to contact the feds in retaliation for their beef or whatever. Sir, the feds were already investigating you, sir. That's just not how this works. That's not how it works.
According to the warrant, they raided your house in June, or I shouldn't say raided, I guess. They searched your house. They searched your house in June of 2022, and the robbery didn't happen till July. You didn't talk about anything that got to do with these allegations against Larry Reed till after that. Later on, after the robbery, they had already searched your home, sir. I need you to just get your timelines in sync before you say these types of things. Because some of us remember, some of us were intrigued and they followed you, like me.
Right. Right. And so Larry Reed said on his live this was months and months ago, he said that the police raided his house before the robbery, or maybe not raid is the word. They got his house with a warrant. Now Tasha K, and I should have had the clip ready, but I didn't even think about it. But Tasha K interviewed him, and the whole interview was on her app, but she did put pieces of the interview on her channel. She asked him point blank. She said, "Feds raid or show up with a search warrant before the robbery?" She may not have worded it that way, but she asked him about it, and he point blank said, "No, that's a lie. No, that's a lie." And I'm like, "But the indictment says that happened." I wish I could. If I had time to look for it, I looked. He said it. Don't get me wrong. Lying to Tasha K don't mean nothing because Tasha K lied to other people. So I'm not. But you sat there and you've been denying it all this time. Larry Reed's a liar. Larry Reed's a liar. No, they didn't come to my house. It's right there. They absolutely did. And confiscated 13 devices. Who the hell got 13 devices?
I have never wanted to be a prosecutor a day in my life. But for this, I would make an exception. It's so much good material here. I can play for the jury. I can just play just all these videos and just play them like to the jury. Like, you hear that? and let's see what he said next month, and just do the side by side how the story changes and evolves, and then all of the judge. Oh my God, it would be such a great show. I'm just saying, I would do it for that one day, for one time only.
Let me say this. I promise y'all with everything in my being. If his case is on in the summer when I don't have to work, I ain't saying I'm gonna be there for the whole case, but I promise you I'm gonna be in New York. I promise you I'm gonna be sitting in that courtroom at least 2 days. At least 2 days. I'll be there. I'll be taking copious notes.
That's fair. It's gonna be good. Because he's gonna be doing like what's the little man? Like Tory Lane's daddy did outside the courthouse. He's gonna be doing that like daily. Doing temper tantrum.
And he's gonna show up in a Gucci suit every day.
And you know he's gonna testify. You know he's gonna make them. He's gonna testify. I'm telling you, despite what the attorney may, he's gonna testify. He's what I would consider. That's why in our retainers we say, if you don't want to listen to us, we have the right to withdraw, and you're not gonna say anything about it, because that's a breakdown of the relationship if I can't tell you to shut the heck up and you just talk any doggone way. Like, come on, that's a breakdown. That is a reason for me to withdraw as counsel from, because if you start doing the opposite and going rogue, that can fall back on my bar card, because you're a reflection really of me. So no, I would have been out a long time ago, but hey.
I mean, Brian Ponder must really need that money.
There's a field trip. I'm there. And if he
we might have to rent a charter bus.
I'll be there the day he avoids it. Yes, we might have to pick up a charter bus. Woo, ladies, listen. This has been fun.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to say real quick, anyone. I'm definitely making a prediction that when his case gets dismissed, the judge will grant sanction, some type of a monetary sanction against him, since he does this all the time. That's my hope.
But who's gonna pay for it, Simone? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Where's the money going? Again, this is the fourth in line lawsuit, and he hasn't been served yet. So right now you have 2 anti-slaps already waiting to get an opinion on. And you're one of them, the other blogger wasn't served yet, so we don't know about that. But with Belmonte, assuming he gets served, he's gonna be so far down the line. Then look at all these judgments he has against him already. He already.
Oh no, go ahead.
How is it even, unless they do it against the attorney as well? Now that's what the attorney was asking for.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think in the end, even though you don't get the judgment from it, I would hold on to it, because he's such a scammer. He's going to get some property in his name again one of these days, and then you can attach a lien to that property and get your money. Just to get your money.
Did you see that you must not have saw that foreclosure document for his house that they had to amend because they had to add more creditors?
Oh no, he don't have he has nothing now. But he's gonna find another woman to scam some years from now, and be living in somebody else's house. Find some other senior citizen woman, bother her, and take her house. Listen.
Child, listen. Once again, my mom has dropped the link for Pam Esquire, the Law Intellect, and Girl Legal. You guys, y'all know that they giving y'all some good content tonight. If you're not already familiar with these ladies, y'all make sure y'all are subscribed to their channel. Simone has some projects coming up this year, honey, that I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be something different. I ain't never seen it down here on YouTube, and I ain't just saying that because I'm serious. She got some stuff coming on her channel, and Pam said if she ever get untangled from Whitehead, she said, no, ain't no Whitehead was gonna take her down this rabbit hole, honey. But Pam has also been getting us other cases, so on her channel as well. So y'all make sure that y'all are following them. I want to thank everybody who donated to the channel. Please hit the like button. It's a free way to support the channel. And we are going to go ahead and get out of here. But we will see y'all as soon as he do something else, y'all. Y'all know we'll be back.
So we'll be back
All
soon.
All right. Good night.
Bye, guys.
He lied right now. I don't know what he